I have now started the recording, and this webinar will be recorded in its full. Welcome to this free webinar from the Coastal Highway Project U39. Today we have Konstantinos Christakos from the Norwegian Meteorological Institute, who will present wave measurements and modeling in Sulafjorden. With that, I think I'll just leave it up to you, Konstantinos. Please.
Thank you. So I will give you the beginning, the outline of my presentation. I will speak a little bit about the background and motivation for ocean wave measurements and modeling. I will give the main classes of ocean wave models, the evolution of phase average model through the time, and after that I will continue with the available operational wave models that we have in Norway. In addition, I will speak about the challenges that we have, especially for the coastal regions, to predict and simulate the waves. And then I will continue for our development, for the development of the high-resolution wave model system for Sulafjorden. And also, I will speak about the wave observations at Sulafjorden, the wave buoys that are deployed there, the ongoing validation between the wave observations and the wave models that we have. And I will speak also about some state-of-art wave measurement technique, like the marine radar applications. And at the end, I will finish with a case study about a swell intrusion in Sulafjorden, using both measurements and also wave data. And at the end, I will speak about the future work and future plans. So the first question comes that why do we need to simulate and measure ocean waves in coastal regions and fjords? So first of all, the wave information is essential for design of offshore or coastal structures. Statistics of wave parameters such as significant wave height, peak period, mean wave direction are used to extract the design parameters. Especially for the Ferry Free E39 project, wave information is used for bridge design, mainly for bridge design. So high quality of wave estimates is important for robust and efficient design. But it's not only important for bridge design, but also other industries can benefit of accurate wave information. Norway is a world leader in aquaculture with thousands of fish farms along the Norwegian coastline, as we can see with the red dot in the left image. And a significant percent of fish farm is located in the coastal regions and inside the fjords. So, wave information along the coastline it's very important, first for the design of this farm, but also to estimate the best weather window for marine operations. And in addition to this, also wave information is very important. Wave conditions are also important for safe navigation and maritime transport. The left figure shows the marine traffic at Sulafjorden and at the nearby areas during March 2014. So accurate wave forecast is essential for safe transport. Furthermore, renewable energy industries such as offshore wind and wave energy are also need accurate wave information, not only for design purposes, but also to estimate the renewable energy resources. And as we see in the right image, it's the first wave energy system that is deployed in Runde, that is connected to the grid and convert the wave energy into electricity. So right now, what are the main classes of ocean models that we have? We can separate these into two main classes. First, we have the phase average models. So these models, they estimate the statistics of sea surface. They are based on the energy or action balance equation. They represent the sea state through the wave spectrum or the statistical parameters like the significant wave height, peak period, mean direction. We don't have phase information during the evolution, but on the other hand, they can be applied for both small and rare regions. They have quite low computational cost, so it's possible to simulate long time periods. For example, one hindcast that is the NORA 10, it's around 60 years of a simulation. And for this reason, can be very useful for extreme analysis. On the other hand, we have the phase resolving model. This model, they resolve the sea surface. They provide a detailed representation of the sea state, having a fine grain compared to the wavelength that covers the sea surface. They estimate the vertical displacement of the grip point and the phase information retained during the evolution. However, they are applied only for limited size regions, and the computational cost is quite high compared to the phase average model. In my presentation, I will speak more for a phase average model, where it's also my PhD. So here, for example, we can see an example of a phase average model on the left. So we have a visualization of significant wave height with a different color and the mean wave direction with the arrows. So we see, for example, the wave conditions inside the fjords in the coastal regions in an area that it's about 100 kilometers wind. And on the other side, we can see a phase resolving model. So we see the actual sea surface elevation. With the red color, we have high, and with the blue, low surface elevation. And we see also the phase of the waves, in contrast to the phase average model. So this information is not available. So the evolution of the phase average model has came from the first generation up to third generation that we are right now. So the first generation models simulate the effect of the wave-wave interactions and whitecapping by enhancement of the wind input and imposing a high frequency tail at the spectrum. On the other hand, the second generation models, they use the Young's spectrum, which is assumed a priori. And nowadays, we are in the third generation, where the spectrum develops without any shape imposed a priori. And for the people that maybe they're not familiar with the Young's spectrum, for example, is from the Joint North Sea Wave Project spectrum, is an empirical relationship that describes the energy distribution as a function of frequency. So the wave spectrum is very important for the phase average models. The third generation wave models provide temporal and spatial development of the 2D wave spectrum in its grid point. And when I say 2D, I mean the two-dimensional spectrum that describes the energy distribution as a function of both frequency and propagation direction. So right now in Norway, we have two operational coastal wave forecasts that are phase average and third generation. The first is the WAM 800 developed by Meteorological Institute in Norway, and the second is the Baron Watts wave forecast developed by University of Polytech. So the WAM 800 is operational numerical wave model which runs on 8 100-meter grid covering 5 coastal zones. The model is run daily with ECMWF and aroma atmospheric forcing to give forces to plus 66 hours. So we see the regions that cover the whole Norwegian coast. You can see with this in this map. On the other hand, the Barwatch forecast is high resolution, is 100-meter resolution. It's forecast for selected fairways and areas on the Norwegian coast. Simplification on boundary conditions are made to achieve this high resolution forecast. So, evaluation of these two operational wave forecasts in Sulafjorden, where we have a lot of measurements, has shown that a high resolution wave forecasting for fjords and coastal region is quite a challenge. We can see, for example, on the left plot where we have the results of the Barwatch wave forecast. We have this is a scatter plot between the measured and the model data. We see that the correlation it's quite low, 0.78. When on the other hand, for WAM 800 meters, the correlation we see on the right figure, the correlation it's much higher, 0.93. But on the other hand, the resolution is coarse. It's much lower. It's 800 meters. So there is a need of improvement of high resolution wave forecast inside the fjords and in the coastal regions. And we have some main challenges. So I will give you what are the main challenges. The first challenge that we face in coastal wave simulations is the complex Norwegian coastline with 1,000 islands and deep fjords. The presence of land and extended areas of shallow water make the coastal wave modeling complicated. For example, the orography affects the wind fields with significant consequences on the generation of the local wave fields. Also, the presence of the shallow water, as we see here with the red color, close to the coast, with different kinds of bottom, complicates the prediction of ocean waves. In addition to this, in coastal regions where currents are strong, accurate background information of surface current is needed for the wave estimation. In addition to the complex bathymetry that we have in Norway, is also the Norwegian climate. Not only due to extreme wind and wave conditions along the Norwegian coast, but also due to the combination of swell and wind synth. The figure shows a normalized wave energy flux indicated by swell with the blue color and wind sea with the red, as a function of different points along the Norwegian coast. The different plots illustrate the different seasons, from autumn to summer, especially at points, as we see in the map 5 and 6, that are close to the area of interest for E39 project. The wave energy flux induced by swell is 70 to 80% dominant, while wind sea is 20 to 30%. So for most of the time, the offshore conditions are a combination of both swell and wind sea that we need to take into account when we simulate waves in the coastal regions and fjords. So for all these reasons, we started to develop a high-resolution wave model system based on SWAN. So why we use SWAN, simulated waves near shore? First of all, is open source wave model. Is the third generation, is based on the wave action balance equation, is suitable for both oceanic and near shore applications. The grid size can vary from 20 meters to 100 kilometers. And Wave generation and dissipation processes are included, such as generation by wind, dissipation by photon friction, white capping, and depth-induced wave breaking, and wave-wave interactions. In addition, wave propagation processes are represented, such as wave propagation through geographic space, bottom and current-induced refraction, diffraction, shoaling due to current and bottom variations, and reflections against obstacles. So the area of interest is the Sulafjord. Sulafjord is located in the west coast of Norway, south of Ålesund, and it's planned for E39 fjord crossing. The high-resolution model that we built here, we have a variable wind input and spectrum on the open borders. We have 36 directions and 31 frequencies. We have two domains, one 250 and 250 grid cells nested into the outer grid that is 1 kilometer, as we can see in the figure. The wind portion is come from the atmospheric model WRF that is delivered by cellular wind technique, and the resolution is 500 meters resolution. The border spectrum comes from the Norwegian wind and wave hindcast NORA-10. And right now, the hindcast that we have, the historical data that we have produced, starts from January 2007 and ends at June 2017. The hour output of integrated wave parameters, like significant wave height, peak period, peak direction, and mid-direction, and of course spectra in selected locations is the output of the model. The NORA-10, which is a Norwegian reanalysis, 10 kilometers, it's a hindcast that we use as an input spectrum for our model. It's a dynamical downscaling of ERA 40 and a long wave hindcast. The atmospheric component is based on the HILAM 10 kilometers, and the wave component is nested to WAM mode. So the WAM 50 kilometer forced by ERA 40 winds, and the WAM 10 kilometer forced by HILAM 10 winds. So we can see in the top figure the domains of the NORA-10. And validation against observation indicates a high quality of NORA-10 wave estimates. There are several studies that have shown quite good results for NORA-10. So this is the input for our model. In reality, is the input for offshore waves that comes into our coastal wave system. So here I would like to give you an overview of our system. So we have the input, first of all, from the wind, from the atmospheric model WRF. As I said, it's an hourly input. And we have also the bathymetry, that is very important, especially for the coastal regions. And we have also the input of the border spectrum from NORA-10 into our high resolution system. In addition, it's possibility for input from surface current, but it's not yet applied. And the output is the spectral wave field and the wave parameters, like as I said before, significant wave height, peak period, and mean direction. So at the bottom you can see the visualization of the results in the area of Sulafjorden, for example. So we have chosen Sulafjorden first of all due to the E39 project and the design of bridges, but it's a very good area to make to test wave models, because there is a combination of wind and wave measurements. So we have 4 tall met masts with Sony wind measurements in three different heights, from 100 meters, 70, and 50 meters, as we see in the map with the red dots. And also we have wave buoys, 4 wave buoys, and underwater moorings for oceanographic measurements, as we see with the blue dots. So it's a very good area for different kind of wave and wind studies. So we have already started with our validation of the model based on the measurements at Sulafjorden. Here we see a scatter plot between the observations at the location D in Brensund and the Swan model results. And with the color, we can see that is the different wind speeds that come into the model. So we see that the overall results are good, but we see that there is an overestimation of the significant wave height for high wind speeds up to 18 or 20 meters per second. And if we do a little bit more detailed validation here and separate, for example, take some peak periods or directions, we see that there are some things that need to be improved in the model. For example, we can take the location D again, and then in the top left, we see a figure that is a scatter plot between the observation and the significant wave height of Swan. And then we see the directions, the wave direction is from 270 to 300 degrees. And we see again that for high wind speeds, there is a clear overestimation. And the same on the bottom, on the left bottom, we can see if we select the peak periods between 5 and 10 seconds. This is not the case when we choose the location A, as we see here, that is closer to the coast. So we see here that the performance of the model is it's better, but on the other hand, in this case, in the location A, we have a lower significant wave height than in the location D, where the wind is quite important. So, in addition of taking different directions and peak periods, we have also applied different bathymetries into our coastal wave forecast. So, we have on the left the northeast bathymetry, and on the right the EMOTNET bathymetry. So with the contours and the contour bar, we can see the different depth. And there's some differences I would like to illustrate. For example, with the vectors, we can see that there is in the opening of the fjord, we see that it's quite deep. We see a difference between these two data sets. So we make a simulation. We run with the same, exactly the same input, our model, but we just change the bathymetry. So we see, for example, in the two fingers on the bottom, we see that in the location A, that is closer to the coast, that there is a clear overestimation using the northeast bathymetry. But when you use the EMOTNET, we see that this overestimation is disappearing. But of course, further studies need to be done here to really understand the reasons that this happening and what is the best bathymetry that can be used for our purposes. So the main processes that can be affected, changing the bathymetry, or applying different bathymetry, is the process of wave breaking and bottom refraction. Here, for example, what we can see is that these two figures illustrate the difference of significant wave height for the month December 2016 between the significant wave height of the North-East bathymetry and the EMOTNET bathymetry. So we see in these both figures, the left figure shows is like a zoom out of the Sulafjord, and the right figure shows more clearly the Sulafjord. So we see that inside the fjords there's not a significant difference, but it's the difference becomes higher close to the shallow water area, close to the islands, for example, near Vigra. So the bathymetry there plays the difference in the bathymetry plays an important role for wave breaking and bottom refraction, but not so much inside the deep fjords. And in addition to the different bathymetry studies, we wanted to investigate the importance of the wind forcing in our coastal model. So we made simulations without wind forcing and simulations with wind forcing based on atmospheric model work. So in this figure here, we see the Sulafjord and the difference between the significant wave height without wind forcing minus the significant wave height with the wind forcing from atmospheric model. And we see that it's quite a significant difference inside the fjord, where the local winds are very important for the evolution and for the generation of the wave fields. It's worth it to say that in the dark blue areas, we can see that if we make simulations without the wind input, then we lose a significant wave height, for example, up to 0.6 meters. So it's very important to have accurate wind information inside the fjords. Otherwise, our simulations will show very low wave heights in these areas. Another one project that is involved here for wave measurements in Sulafjord. It's a project from Marof 2. It's a state-of-art wave measurement using navigation radar of X-band. And here I would like to show you, for example, the method that we use from marine radar image to derive the sea surface elevation. So first, this is usually deployed in the on board in the ship, but also can be deployed near the coast. In the second image, we see a radar image. The color represents the intensity of backscatter electromagnetic wave energy received by the radar. And to imagine where we are, you can see this 2B aerial image where we are south of Olesund. So the waves are coming from Brainsund inside the fjord. So the method is that select one area, one block, and then as we see in the figure 3. And after that, there is some application of raised calibration of radar image intensity. And then we need to take a sequence of, for example, 16 or 32 or 64, for example, a radar image sequence. And then to make the 3D FFT and some filtering to get only the wave-related signal. And after all this process, we make inverse FFT, and then we get the sea surface elevation. So this is an alternative way to get wave information near the coastal areas and near inside the fjords, for example. Here I would like to show you an example of a swell intrusion in Sulafjorden in the 3rd of January 2017. We were lucky that in this time we had also a marine radar image. We see, for example, the area on the top left where the radar image was taken, and on the bottom on the left we can see the actual radar image. So we have a situation, so long crested waves, swell is coming inside the fjord. And on the right we have made a simulation based on SWAN of the peak period of the waves during this event. If you see, we see that with the colors shows the different peak periods, and we see that the swell, the period of the swell that is, let's say here, around 12 to 14 seconds, goes into the fjord and quite deep. If you see, for example, the colors around 13, 14 seconds in the color bar. So it's and this is quite important for the bridge design and in general for the design of structures, that we see that the swells, these periods that they have, can go really deep inside the fjord. And in addition, we have used also this marine data measurement from radar to validate our wave model, or in addition to the wave buoys that are available for E39. So, for example, here we see a time series of significant wave height, HS, at the top of the figure, along this swell penetration, the mean direction in the middle, and the peak period. So with the red color is the SWAN simulation, and with the black color is the wave observation from the buoy in location A. So we see that the SWAN, our model here, predict quite well the situation of a swell intrusion inside the fjord. But of course, we need to improve and to go more into the details for this system. So some things about the future work and what we are planning to do is we want to do further wave simulations using, for example, different configurations. We would like to make some sensitivity studies, especially for the wind input, because the wind, we see that is very important inside the fjord to generate this local wave fields. And we are planning also to compare to the other wave models, for example, with wave was 3 or 1. And of course, to utilize the observations that are available in the area to improve the wave model system for more accurate wave parameters. So with this, I think that I finished. So thank you very much for your attention, and please let me know if you have any question or something was not clear.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Konstantinos. I hope everyone enjoyed it. We have plenty of time for questions, so I think I'll open up for any questions to Konstantinos.
Hi, Matthias. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Yeah, this is Jingao from University of Stavanger. I have actually a couple questions for him. So thank you very much for a very nice presentation on the wave measurement about Sulafjorden. So the first question I have is, you mentioned the difference between the two wave model. One is phase average and one is phase resolving. But you are using phase average, right, for SWAN, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes, the SWAN model is a third generation phase average.
Yeah. So for the result you show here, is not about phase resolving, right?
No. I just this is just for example, an illustration of the two different available ocean models that we have, ocean wave models. But my work, it's only phase average model based on SWAN.
Yeah. So also, did you how to say it, do any implementation to the SWAN, or you just use the default SWAN?
Right. We use the parameterizations and that exists already in SWAN. Would like in the future maybe to go more into the code and see if we can improve something more, especially for our cases. But these results, it's not something more.
Yeah, and also I see that in one of the slides you show the input for SWAN. You mentioned 36 directions and 31 frequencies, right? What do you mean by 36 directions? Is that the resolution? Like a circle has been divided into, so it's 10 degrees resolution in direction, or?
Yeah, exactly. So we
okay. Do you think it's enough? Because I think for swell simulation, I think it probably it's required for have a 3 degrees resolution for swell conditions, isn't it? Oh, sorry, for wind.
For wind, yeah. I mean, yeah. This is one thing that, yeah. I mean, with 36 directions, we see that we get, for example, enough information also for of course for the swell and also for the wind sea. But yeah, we can see if we can, for example.
Yeah, because for actually I was also trying to use SWAN as well. When I was trying to validate in a very simple case, just a rectangular case with a slope, shoring case, when I changed the resolution for a swell condition, it actually affects your result quite a lot. So yeah, so that's maybe a point that you can look into in the future. Maybe, yeah. And also one thing, you show the validation or the comparison between the measurement, I mean between SWAN and the measurement. You show the result only from 2017 to 300, right? The direction range, yeah, here. But actually, because we are also looking to the wave measurement data, I think for the cases where you have large waves, especially the storm conditions, I think the wave direction actually is more from 285 to up to 315. So probably you should also look into a higher or a wilder directional range to cover some measurement data, especially for the storms, where it's more of a concern for the bridge design.
Yeah, this is true. Here, what I want to illustrate is like kind of the way like a problematic direction that we have, and we want, for example, these directions to improve. So mainly for some other directions, we don't have so significant problem, but in this 70 to 300, maybe some effects, maybe due to the wind or maybe some refraction effects make this problem. So we want to see further in our model. But yeah, this is and especially for the extreme conditions. And yeah, this is true that we could go even further to the north to take a wider.
And I have another one, if I have time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
So you also show two different bathymetry results. I'm a bit confused, because I think also the resolution of your bottom grid or the computational grid is 250 meters, right? And you should also have the same resolution grid for your bottom bathymetry file, isn't it? So is that so different? Even if you have a 250 resolution, then for the bathymetry as well, the difference between the contour plots you show here.
Yeah, I mean here I don't see the difference. So just illustrate, for example, the northeast and the EMOTnet. So it's not a difference right now. The difference, what I show, it's here. So the difference of the significant wave height.
Yeah.
So we see that for one bathymetry seems to be shallow water and shallower than the other bathymetry. So we get more wave breaking closer to the islands, for example, in Igra. And then this is in the way significant. The point is that we are not sure what is exactly more correct than the other, which so we need to do more validation here because of the a little bit different. The bathymetry can affect these processes. So so.
But both of them are from Nugescott or from, the bathymetry files you used?
One is from Northeast, and other is EMOTnet. So it's a different, I think, data. It's a different data set, different sources.
Yeah, but also I think the good thing is at least for the waves you get in the fjord, they are quite similar. They are not so different.
Yeah. It's mainly
outside of the fjord.
Because, as we see I can show you, where we have the bathymetry from the EMOTnet website, we can see that this red color shows a very shallow area. It's a very small island. So when the two bathymeters are a little bit different there, this can have an effect on the wave breaking and bottom refraction. So this is
yes.
Need to be investigated a little bit more. So
Okay. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for the questions.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Well, does anyone else have any questions for Konstantinos?
Yeah, hi. I have a question.
Yes, please.
Yeah. This is Atul from Noorconsult, Trondheim. First of all, very good presentation. I really enjoyed it. I have like a general question and a general comment. The first comment is that even I agree with Jungao that 36 directions in Swan for swell wave is a bit too less, I think, because even we have done this swell wave modeling using ST wave, and the number of distributions in angle we use is something around 70 to 80 per the 360 degrees. So that's something that you can look into. Yeah, and regarding the swell intrusion for the Sulafjorden, Can you open that slide for me, please? That comparison that you made between SWAN and measurements.
Between SWAN and the measurements.
For the swell intrusion in Sulafjorden. For a particular date, date or particular month. Yeah. So I'm assuming you had you compared between the SWAN results and the waybuoys only for the swell waves, right? So what was your input here in SWAN?
Here the SWAN was the NORA 10 spectrum
okay.
that I described before, and also the WRF wind input.
Oh, yeah, you had wind and the NORA 10 input. Yeah, maybe I missed that. That was my question.
Yeah. So yeah, but here it's significant wave height. It's the total significant wave height. So it's not separated with.
It's not separated. So you're talking about both swell and wind waves, right?
Yeah.
Like a combined wave height.
Yeah. And maybe I didn't say it's the time that we have the marine radar image. It's with this vertical gray line. This vertical gray line, it's the point that we have the marine radar and this long crested waves. So,
yeah, sure. The thing is, we also have been looking for some method to have a comparison between the measurements and the wave model. We have been using ST wave. So I was wondering if you have any publications. I mean, have you published some of these results in any conference or something?
We have not really, not yet. I mean, we have made some results. I mean, in the poster we have in EGQ conference last April.
Yeah.
We are considering to publish in journal also some of the results.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was. Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice feedback for both of you.
Matthias, can I just ask one question maybe? Since hello?
Yes, please.
Yeah. For this slide, actually, you show the 2D spectrum for the buoy measurement, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but we were always looking for this kind of data. Is it possible that you can share these spectrum as well? Because it would be also useful. Because I think from the server it was only the how to say the 1D spectrum, right?
Yeah, I think that is possible. I received this data from my supervisor, so I think that this would be possible. I assume that this would be possible also.
Yeah, that would be great. Yes. Yeah. And maybe I can also ask something about the wind also for the input you have, because you showed actually in one of your slides you show when you compare with and without the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually the main difference actually is further into the fjord. I mean to the right part of your figure where you have a bigger difference there, right? But your wind input is on the west and the north boundaries, or?
No, it's dynamically. We have in all the grid points.
Okay, so at all the computational grid you have one wind input.
Exactly, and this makes difference inside the fjord. So we get the winds from the atmospheric model, and that generate some local waves there that we cannot see when we have no wind forcing.
Okay, so I think at least one good thing is at the Sulafjorden, the fjord there's no big difference. But at the same time, have you actually compared? Because for the buoy measurement, it also record the wind velocity at I think 4.1 meters high above the sea surface. Have you tried to compare the wind input you used in the SWAN model and with the one measured at the buoys? Have you compared that, or compared the one with the master data?
Yeah, we have compared with 3 buoys, 2 in Sulafjorden and 1 in Brensund.
Yeah.
In location A seems to be better the winds compared to the location and B, but yeah, I mean we are kind of satisfied, but of course it's not the best. It's quite complicated. The wind conditions there. We have these high mountains and. Yeah, of course we would like to have it like even better, but I mean it's and of course the work it's 500 meter resolution, so
Yeah.
And
also the wind input you have here is also like every 3 hours or every 10 minutes or?
The wind input is every 1 hour, and the spectrum input from NORAD-10 is every 3 hours.
Yeah, so it's still the mean wind velocity basically, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone else who have any questions? I really enjoy the fact that we get a good discussion between both the presenter and the people listening into the webinar here.
Yeah, it was very useful for me to also to get feedback. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. We still have time for one more question if anyone has a question they'd like to ask. Well, if not, once again, a great presentation, and people can also see that Chashti also enjoyed the presentation here. So thank you so much, Konstantinos, for this presentation. It seems that you have maybe got a couple of people that you can discuss with further when you continue your research. So thank you so much. I will now stop the recording.